Hi, blessings, everyone. It's Thursday today, 15th of July. I wanted to give this message of family and identity. I feel it's very relevant at the present time. Okay. So I'm just sending a blessing through before I start. And it's a blessing of deep unity and love and source consciousness. So family, in terms of our physical family and the family that we create for ourselves, our children. When it comes to who we are within that, then we can share through a sense of deep freedom within. Now, this freedom comes from a place that we know to be true to ourselves, where we can fully embrace living in the moment and knowing that we've chosen to experience this experience of being together as one unit, but also knowing that we're all free. There's a deep illusion that happens within the family. And going back throughout history and generations of what is called family, I feel does not actually exist. It's really interesting because I feel there's a lot of research going on just now with people who are trying to find their identity through the ancestors, or what they call ancestors. They're digging deep to find out what's happening or what happened back many centuries. And it brings a really strong, heartfelt grief sometimes that the family actually suffered at some point in history. When we really connect with ourselves through a non-elusive state of consciousness, then we experience this sense of deep, deep unity that is fully expanded. This is really important because people are getting sick in this new century because they actually believe that they are who they've been told they are, or that they believe that there's some identity and that there is a history attached to it. And they can't really heal inside because they're feeling so much physical. It's so physical because we're in an embodiment process on the planet. The embodiment is there to allow us to free the DNA and the DNA strands, the cellular energy that is limiting. But if you're a person who is already living from a place of non-limitation, then you'll be having a different experience. The illusion is the sense of becoming. It's who we become because we're perceived as being that. And if we believe that we're the person that we're perceived as being from outside, then it can create a great deal of heartache. It can also be really beautiful because depending on what the connection is, if you're surrounded by people who actually see you beyond the identity, then you will have a soul family around you. You'll have connections that continually reinstate that state of being. If you're surrounded by people who see you as an identity, a physical identity, then that can create problems. It can be really, really chaotic, actually. So we have a choice as to who we believe that we are. Our identity is formless. There's a uniqueness inside each one of us. We don't live in a group energy on that level. I mean, we do live within the formless, but we don't live within the identity that is being perceived on a physical level. So, in order for us to heal, and I'm talking about planetary-wise, then we have to understand and really connect in with that wisdom and inner knowledge that we have that allows us to be complete and free. So if you can imagine that someone is searching way, way back through the ancestral chain for someone, and their desire to be complete is through being able to connect with that identity of the person that will come through in the research, then the identity is not our identity. It's not who we are. I feel there are two types of human being on the planet, on this level. There's the type who likes to be in a group energy, where they're continually being identified with. And there's another type that's a universal source. And it's a person who is strongly connected with the universe and will have a far greater experience of who they are. Now, this comes into the field of artists on many levels, and a lot of the energy I'm talking about that's changing just now, because we're coming into a universal source. It's affecting many celebrities and artists that are well known, because it's shifting. There's a realization that, oh, I'm not that person that I thought I was. It's really interesting. But the feeling of it is actually affecting all of us. So there's been a lot of movement with what they call celebrity status over, I would say, probably over the past 20 years. And the person, the identity is of the individual as an artist and who has a great deal of following. And when that person leaves the physical body, there's no longer any movement there or anything new coming in on the physical level. They're actually living in a state of consciousness which is helping us at this time that we're living in, because we're all experiencing this at some level. The internet and the ability to create an identity on the internet, including YouTube, is bringing a feeling of awakening, I feel, for many. And then we have internet celebrities. The movie industry has changed enormously from Hollywood, as it was, to nowadays there's lots of movement happening through the World Wide Web, and it's bringing that separation that I'm talking about, where you're a celebrity and I'm not, it's actually changing. And for many it's already changed. So the celebrity status is not greater than anyone. It's actually coming into unison with what I would call the star energy. Being the star, and I'm just seeing this really beautiful, pure star as it comes into being, and it's just moving through us, and we can sense this feeling of grace. It's beautiful. So within the family, there's a need to recognize that there is no real identity. family actually creates separation from oneness, which is why there's so much identified with through family and history, and then leaving the family is actually all one. So our ancestor can be here inside our heart always. We don't even need to know who that person is. The children, they move through their lives through this sense of grace, and they can move beyond the identity that they've been given. There is no need for identity in reality. To bring up a child and tell them who they are is I feel it when I've just said those words. A parent doesn't know who their child is. And a mother is the vehicle for this life that she's birthed. And it's a fine-tuning to be a mother and be able to fully connect and deeply love her child, knowing that she or he doesn't belong to her. So in order to heal at the present time and heal these energies that are floating around this name called the pandemic, we need to recognize who we are. And also really feel this rootedness within ourselves, where there is no identity, that there is illusion, and that we can live in this state of grace and deep, deep peace that comes from this, knowing that we can love without attachment. We don't need to attach ourselves to others. The true relationship that we have with ourselves is about non-expectation. It's about living from freedom and allowing. And so we allow these energies that I speak about to come forward and really bless our lives in this moment with something that's very real. That anyone that we connect with in these moments is a symbol of that loving and fulfilling state. An awareness of the love that we are. That we can love everyone. It brings miracles into life. It's really beautiful. So if you can imagine a mother giving birth through the body with this new soul that's coming through. And she experiences a surrender into Source, trusting and knowing that this is an alignment and a state of grace that is happening. And the child that is born is so blessed because we already know one another. It's beyond the physical body. It's a flow of life and a beauty that comes through. So powerful. Divine love. And the mother can hold her child and recognize that this child is not an illusion, that she's created and brought through this reality, and that this child is free. It's beautiful. So I'm going to finish there, but there's a strong message in this for this planetary shift. And for all the families out there that are holding on desperately to one another and who are feeling that they are in pain, then it's my desire and my wish for all of us to be at peace with ourselves and to really know what love is, to fully love. Okay, namaste. Have a beautiful day.